You've been lied to about how learning works. Not intentionally, but the traditional education system has failed to keep up with what neuroscience has discovered about effective learning. Think highlighting helps? It doesn't. Believe cramming works? Science says otherwise. I see you nodding along. You've felt it, haven't you? The frustration of spending hours studying only to forget everything a week later. The confusion when you can't seem to grasp concepts despite putting in the work. Today, I'm going to show you what's really happening in your brain and how to work with it instead of against it. Remember all those hours spent highlighting textbooks in school? Those late nights cramming before exams? Yeah, it turns out all of that was setting you up for failure. Our education system has been feeding us lies about how to learn effectively. You know what's crazy? You can master complex topics in just 10 minutes a day, but how? The answer is deliberate practice in micro-learning sessions. Break learning down into focused intervals with short breaks, then concentrate only on the difficult concepts, not the stuff you already know. The science is clear. Your brain forms stronger connections when you space out learning over time. Think of it like watering a lawn. You get healthier grass with light, regular watering instead of flooding it once and letting it dry out. Each time you revisit a concept after a break, your brain has to work to retrieve that information, which actually strengthens those neural pathways, making the information stick for good. Those neural pathways we just talked about, they're actually just the beginning. Think about it. What if the fastest way to learn isn't studying more, but completely changing what studying means altogether? Your brain craves problem solving and making connections. It wants to be active, not passive. Want to learn something faster? Think about the 80-20 rule, also called the Pareto principle. It shows that 80% of your results come from just 20% of your efforts. But here's the catch. Most people focus on the wrong 20%. When learning a new language, focusing on just the 1,000 most common words can cover 80% of everyday conversations. This is working smarter, not harder. But the real game changer is the Feynman technique, named after Richard Feynman, a Nobel Prize-winning physicist who could explain quantum mechanics to almost anyone. Think about explaining gravity like this. Everything with mass pulls on everything else, like magnets working across space. His method is beautifully simple. Explain what you're learning as if you're teaching a 12-year-old. The technique has 4 steps. First, pick a concept you want to learn. Second, teach it to a child, or pretend you are. Third, identify the gaps and go back to the source material. Fourth, organize and simplify your notes for review. When you explain something to someone else, you engage completely different neural pathways. You're actively creating knowledge, not consuming it. It's like sculpting. Each explanation chisels away confusion until the clear shape of understanding emerges. There's something transformative about repackaging knowledge that forces your brain to process information deeply. And if someone asks a question you can't answer, even better, it means you just found a weak spot to improve. Your second weapon is active recall. Instead of highlighting or rereading, close the book and try to explain what you just learned, out loud, to yourself, to your cat, whatever. This forced failure process is like sending your brain to the gym. Every time you struggle to retrieve information, your memory muscles get stronger. Sleep is your secret learning weapon. Imagine your brain as a night crew organizing all the mental files you created during the day. Studies show that sleeping between learning sessions can boost your recall by 30 to 40% compared to staying awake. While you dream, your brain isn't just resting, it's literally processing, organizing, and strengthening those connections. This all ties into the 80-20 approach to mastering skills without burnout.